But let's talk about your sixth record, Churches, which came
Mhm.
out just a month ago. It's funny because you started releasing singles about 6 months ago, like we
Yeah.
were talking about. I think you might even be on like the fifth
Yeah.
single now at this point,
I,
right?
yeah. I think almost a sixth. Yeah.
Because the record came out, I believe, December 3rd.
Mhm.
So it's only been out technically for a month now, but you know,
Uh.
let's talk about the new single and the record. And actually, the name of the record, Churches, came about because you had this aha moment when you walked into a church and talk about
Well,
it for a moment.
I mean, I named it Churches because I was pretty sure the song, probably the song Churches that's on it, wouldn't be a single. So so I was like, I wanted to bring attention to it.
Mm.
It was I was in St. Petersburg or something like that, and had been doing. It was before I was actually had hits in Russia, which now I've had a bunch of hits in Russia, and I wasn't playing. I was playing private shows for people, and the irony of that was that the Blavatniks, Len and Alex Blavatnik, who own Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I meant.
Alex, I was one of his favorite bands. So I played his birthday party in New York.
Amazing.
And so all these Russian billionaires were there, and then some Russian guy saw me, and I played his Christmas and New Year's Eve party.
Oh wow.
And then the third, I did another show for him, just a random show, and then another Russian dude saw me, and he hired me for another 3 different gigs. And this is all in the year when like Warner Brothers is like basically shitting the bed, and then I'm also dropped, and like so it's like I wasn't touring much, and it was like really needed money, and I was so like grateful for that, like and it was like a lucky thing. I think Alex didn't know he was doing me a favor, like a solid like that,
Yeah.
But so the gig would go like you'd fly in, you'd do the show the next day, sightsee the next day, and then fly back. So it was quick, but you had this sightseeing thing. So I went in. We were looking at churches, and like every time I went to go in, they were like, you had to cover your head if you were a woman, And a couple times I walked by, they thought I was a dude, and then you're like, oh no, And it was like Orthodox church. It's not because it's like Russian, you know what I mean,
Right.
like whatever. But I was like, I'm not going in there, hell no, like and I didn't decide, like I'm not trying to like I'm not like one of those like I'm like very live and let live. I'm not like kind of like condemn these people because they're like I was just like, I'm good. I'm not going in, but, and also because I believe in God fully, you know what I mean? Pray to God, believe in God. And I'm like, my God doesn't make me cover my head. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I don't see why. And, and if men were doing it too, if everybody had to cover their head, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I could think about that. Like maybe, but
in a way, it makes you question religion and what it's all about.
yeah.
Right?
And I was brought up Catholic, Roman Catholic, but I'm like, but I hadn't thought about it much, and so it started me thinking about it, and I thought the name Churches was also kind of rife with this like not just imagery but like thoughts. It's like I just felt like a church to me is not, besides being a beautiful structure most of the time, is also just a place where people congregate for an idea, whatever, right? So I just like, I don't know, it just felt like the kind of thing to name the record, and I'm glad I did.